Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 117 of Impact Makers. And today we're going to have Dustin do a little role play. So, what I mean by that is it's conference season, and so a lot of firms are, going to various conferences. Whether it's the big ones coming up in June, or the different associations, or the little ones to get CPE, and there's vendors, there's all kinds of stuff going on. It can be chaos if you're not careful. And so, Dustin, I want you to put on your proverbial head of operations hat.
Okay.
Put yourself in that thought process, and you're headed out to some conferences during
Mhm.
conference season here. What are some key things, strategies that you're going to put in place, thoughts that you're going to put out there to maximize, the attendance at these various events, and maybe one or two pitfalls, things to avoid. So, Dustin, what are you going to do to maximize? What are you going to do to avoid?
First of all, it'd be nice to have tax assurance and advisory leaders with me at these conferences, so I'm not doing things in a vacuum. But if we're not the same place or whatever, I would definitely be getting with them and getting tuned in with them before I left to go to these conferences, just to understand pain points. That make sure that we're all aligned on vision, where we're heading, especially with AI and technology. You know what do they need to be solving for as we look ahead in the future? I'm not just I'm not just going to randomly, you know, talk to vendors without having an idea of what we're trying to do. So it'd be nice if we all went together and had a unified approach, but that doesn't always happen. So I'd at least get some knowledge before I went and kind of understand, so I can get a better lay of the land for the firm where we should be heading. So that, probably number one is what problems are we trying to solve? We've talked about this a lot. What problems are we
Yep.
trying to solve as we look into the future, and making sure that we're not just chasing shiny objects, because there's going to be a lot of hype, a lot of hoopla the rest of this year
Yep.
around new technology vendors, right? And
Yep.
it can be overwhelming, like you said. Number two, um, I would stress, well, in my in my role play here as head of operations, um, I'm not going to overplay where we're currently at as a firm or overrepresent. We need to be honest with ourselves. If we're in, the old, you have to, you crawl before
Yep.
you walk before you run. If
Yep.
we're still crawling as a
Yep.
firm in terms of just standardization, consistency in the way we do things across offices, um, you know, just a lot of variation, um, you know, just still kind of struggling to get through that old school CPA firm
Yep.
habit, and we haven't done a lot to overcome that. We're not ready for the newest hyped up product,
Yep.
if we're going to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And so I need to know where we're at on that crawl, walk, run spectrum.
Yep.
And some of these tools are more built for the firms that are ready to run, not the crawling and walking firms. And so
Yep.
there's probably some things that we have to do before that. Now, I want to know what's on the horizon for sure
Yep.
and what's
Yep.
out there. But my maybe instead of walking the vendor floor, I need to be connecting with other leaders of some of these firms that are running to understand truly what they're doing and have them let their guard down to be honest. Are you
Yep.
really running? That's the thing too.
Yeah.
A lot of firms are going to share that they're much better than what they are. We know better when we get under the hood in
Hmm.
these firms. But that's another thing too, is seek out the the leaders
Yep.
and understand what they're doing, how they're doing it, so that way you can have ideas that you could potentially bring back as well.
Yeah. So, two real key things just to summarize there. One, go into it with a plan specific to where you need help. Where
Mm,
are your pain points? Where are your bottlenecks at your firm? whether that be in tax, whether that be in assurance, whether that be in accounting services or advisory. Have an understanding of what problem you're trying to solve. And then that being real on the crawl, walk, run dynamic, a great question that you can ask both peer firms, other people at firms that you respect, and also the vendors. Where do firms struggle with the implementation? What makes an implementation take longer, or what makes an implementation fail? Like, where did you skin your knee?
Mhm.
As you were moving from crawling to walking to running.
Yeah.
Where did you skin your palms, your knees? Where
Yep.
were those pain points? If the vendor can't give you a really good answer, that's telling you something.
Yep.
Your peer firms, that's where you're gonna get the real answer of where they're at. And that's where they'll let you in and say, well, we ran a little bit, but we had to come back and we're kind of
Yep.
walking so that we can run tomorrow.
That's a really good point.
So let us know what you think.